Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got videos today from Alexander Grace.
How many times did you punch me in the face? Huh? What did I do to you?
Smart man, pull out your phone and start filming her. Anytime a woman is being abusive towards you, film her, okay? The camera does not lie. It doesn't matter if she was the aggressor, if she's been viciously attacking you and striking you. If you don't have any evidence, when the police turn up, she's just going to melt into tears and feed them some sob story, and they'll come after you because you are the man. Film yourself. It's for your protection.
Okay. Just like Alex said, we always say it on my channel. Protect yourselves at all times. When things go down, have the camera ready. That is probably the only thing that can save you. Because when it comes to he said, she said, he always loses.
You notice also that when he starts filming her, she's not attacking him anymore, right? Like, this is a defensive posture that you've got to take, film them. They know they're being filmed, and that's when the bad behavior stops.
Alex, sometimes they even know they're being filmed. They'll be acknowledged that you're being filmed and still act crazy. I have my old roommate that had an ex-girlfriend that literally told him the craziest stuff, and he had it all recorded. He was like, I'm going to record you. And she was like, go ahead and record me, and just went off to say the craziest stuff.
And this is perfect. It's when you're filming somebody, it can come across as aggressive if you just stand there with like a camera in their face. But this is not what he's doing. This is defensive. This is perfect. He's filming her for his protection, and then he removes himself. He's de-escalating the situation. He puts himself in a separate room. He closes the door. He creates his own sanctuary. Perfect. Extremely well handled. That does not mean that she's going to necessarily allow you to have space, though.
True.
She's not going to respect the sanctuary, the boundaries that you've put up, because anytime a man takes space from a woman when she's emotionally charged, she's desperate to get rid of those emotions, to make you feel what she's feeling. And so if you separate yourself, even if she's acting hysterical or violent, she can't understand it. She can't handle it. This is what triggers women's deepest fears of abandonment. I guarantee she's going to walk through that door.
100%.
You think this is a setup to try to film me or nuts?
Yep, I told you, women can't do it. They can't let a man take space. Even though what he's done here is clearly in the best interest of them both. Things are tense. They've gotten violent, and so he has separated.
And it's funny how women always say, oh, it's men being pussies and avoiding emotional battles or something. No, we're avoiding actual danger. There's going to be a fight. There might be things escalating. Why are we going to just pursue this pathway right now when I know the end goal or the end of this path is probably going to be me in jail?
Himself, given them both time to cool off. He didn't escalate. He didn't strike back. He did what every man should do, is he separated himself, and she couldn't let him do that. She had to keep going. She had to keep fighting, keep arguing. I didn't actually hear what she said. Let me rewind that. Came in. What did she say?
You think this is a setup to try to film me or nuts?
What is she trying to achieve?
I gotta do it for my own protection.
No, she's trying to achieve that now she became the victim all of a sudden because now he's filming. That's what she tried to put out there right now.
It's embarrassing.
I wouldn't have said what he just said.
Yeah, those are trigger words. We don't want to trigger things more.
Doing is embarrassing. That's a slight escalation. That's going to trigger her emotionally. Just stay quiet.
And we're not telling you to stay quiet just to be submissive or, no, stay quiet for your own protection. You don't want to escalate things.
What is she doing? Why is she just standing there staring at him? It's like she's glitching or something. She should just walk away.
Oh, you want to smile. You have a twisted sense of reality. You think it's okay.
Bro, you trying to get stabbed?
You can just say sorry tomorrow. And ask me questions about the same breakup.
No, I think you should say sorry.
No, he blew it.
Yep.
You see the mistake that he made? He took the bait. She wants to keep arguing with him. And now he's sunk down to her level. That sucks. He was doing so well. He did the right thing by filming her and taking his own space. But after that, you just keep your mouth shut, because when a woman
You're not going to win a verbal argument with women. You're just not.
is in this kind of like highly charged emotional state, it doesn't matter what you say. It's all going to get twisted around. It's all just going to be more fuel for her crazy. If you really have to talk, just say one sentence over and over again, which is, I don't feel safe. Doesn't matter what she says. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I know that that's not manly. It's not masculine. You know,
Sure.
you've probably got some like fantasy of being like, no, I'm going to assert myself and be righteous.
That fantasy is going to lead you to jail.
Yeah. In a man-on-man conflict, like a masculine style of conflict, that will work. That doesn't work here. Your defense is going to be interpreted by everybody else as aggression. That's
Correct.
why you just keep saying, I don't feel safe. You've got to use feminized language against her. Don't explain it. Don't justify it. Just keep filming and just keep saying, I don't feel safe.
He put himself in a very scary situation now. Now that he's kind of conversating back with her, now the escalation is definitely about to go up.
Subjective statement about your own emotional experience. So there's nothing inherently accusatory in there that's going to like set her off. It's got an implicit boundary that you're placing. Just keep repeating it. I don't feel safe. What is she going to do to that? How can she really respond?
I wanted to give a thanks to Brute Seltzer for sponsoring today's video. A great drink for the morning, a little bit before workout, after workout, 10 grams of protein, 40 grams of caffeine, electrolytes, a lot of the things you need for workout. And it's not that 30 grams of protein type drinks where it's like tastes chalky and with that whey protein. It uses different proteins. It's only 10 grams. You get more of that energy drink feel than an actual protein drink. So thank you again for sponsoring today's video. Check out the links below and get a discount.
It's an interesting time more than ever because women don't really need partners.
Yeah.
They really don't need partners.
They don't, and they shouldn't. And honestly, can I have a
And they
really hot
shouldn't.
take here?
Yes,
and
please.
That I've never had, and my daughter's gonna get shocked. I almost believe that get married young once and get divorced.
Yeah.
Get married. Get it out
But
of
why
your
do
system.
you even have to get married?
No, because
Oh,
get it out of your system.
Okay, so Leslie Knope is a feminist. That's actually really disappointing. I loved Parks and Recreation.
The women
Get
who
out
are
of your
not married at all sometimes romanticize it to a point, but like married women look at them and you're like, oh my God. It is not like.
Wait, you know
He
that
is
you know that
not-
married women live shorter lives than
lives.
unmarried women.
Yes.
Where are they getting this from?
And married men live longer.
Well, they're
What?
taking our lives.
They're taking
They're
our
literally like
lives.
sucking that out of our bodies. Like
Yes.
literally.
So these women, they just don't care about lying as long as it suits their
They really
narrative.
don't.
Men suck the life out of women's bodies. What the fuck are they talking about? The reason
If
that
anything, we're injecting lives into your bodies.
married women live shorter lives is because of the physical toll that childbirth takes. Look it up. This has nothing to do with men. Once you adjust for children, the difference in lifespan disappears. The shorter lifespan is because growing and birthing a child is crazy intense on your body. The
Makes
strain
sense.
on your muscles, your autoimmune system, the huge hormonal shifts, it takes a toll. And so does caring for children. There's a lot of mothers who go an entire decade without having a proper night's sleep. But none of this is men's fault. Men aren't stealing your energy. This woman is a celebrity. I have to imagine that her podcast is reasonably popular on such a big platform. How can you be so brazenly sexist and so misinformed about the facts? I don't understand why they're not more embarrassed to be this ignorant of the data. You can't just
I don't think they have to be embarrassed, Alex, because all women are just going to co-sign it anyways.
blame everything on men. Look up the life expectancy of single mothers and then compare it to the lifespan of mothers who are still married. Look up those statistics and then tell me how well that fits in with your narrative that men are stealing, they're sucking the life force out of women's bodies. And yes, married men do live longer than single men, but this isn't because women are magically giving those men life. It's because healthy men are more likely to be sexually selected by women. They're more likely to get married. Men who
Makes
have
sense.
diseases or physical disabilities, things that are likely to shorten your lifespan, women don't partner up with those men. Women aren't giving men life. Married men's longer lifespan is just proof of sexual selection. That's all this is. This is so stupid.
So I now think my daughter, if she actually, I would be like, listen, get married once, few months, year or two.
What is going on?
Few
Isn't
months?
India like a traditional conservative society? Aren't there
It is, but the feminists really took a big freaking stronghold in India, and I have a lot of Indian people message me and just saying, yeah, it's bad out there. We don't get to cover much stories from it there because we don't have that video coverage as often.
weddings like a massive big deal? Like, I think of India as the culture that respects marriage. What is she talking about? She doesn't seem to have any respect for marriage as an institution at all. She's so casual about it. And I bet that she would not be so cavalier, none of these women would, if there wasn't a financial guarantee that she would get 50% of the resources once the marriage is dissolved. Do you think that she'd still be giving this advice if women didn't massively financially benefit from divorce?
Get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Because the women I find who have it the hardest are the ones who never married and who are literally imagining Prince Charming. I'm like, he farts. It smells bad.
And what?
You just literally said the women that are single have it the worst. So
farts smell like freshly picked jasmine? What the fuck?
His mother is that bad. It's not a story. But get that romance out of it and then focus on your life and build your thing.
Yeah.
Worry about building your own life.
It's so true. I mean, but it's quite revolutionary the way you talk about motherhood specifically, as well as marriage, because, motherhood is a grind. And it is, no one talks about how tiring it is and how boring it is.
Yes, you do. You are literally talking about it right now. What universe are these people living in? Nobody talks about how hard motherhood is. I feel like that's all we ever hear about, is that like motherhood is the hardest job in the world.
Correct.
It's so exhausting. It's such a
it's worth 200,000, 300,000 a year.
thankless task. Far from being some quiet taboo topic, I feel like women's whinging and complaints about this is everywhere. The society is completely saturated with it. And my sympathies run out. Like, I'll support any individual woman who's genuinely struggling and needs help, but I'm done with this collective narrative that paints mothers like they are victims. This martyrdom has got to end. Enough already. You're a mother. You spend your day playing with a baby. That's it. It's not forced labor in the mines. I don't know how they can say this stuff with a straight face. I honestly think that the only way that these women can be so righteous in their complaints, like, oh, can you believe how hard it is to be a mother? The only way you can maintain that kind of delusion and that kind of energy is if you have spent no time contemplating the suffering of other people like men. You're so self-involved that you actually have no point for comparison. So of course it seems like, oh, can you believe how hard motherhood is?
I mean, that's women, Alex. You think they've ever put themselves in men's shoes? They can't fill our shoes.
How else in good conscience could you say this shit? I know that you know what I'm talking about because I bet there's 100 things a day as a man that cause you suffering that you don't say shit about because you know that it would be extremely poor taste to complain about it when there is such bigger suffering going on in the world. You're a mother. You're not a prisoner of war. Let's all just calm the fuck down.
And how difficult it can be. And we're all supposed to pretend like we're having the best time in our lives and our children are our biggest gifts and miracles. And they are. They're wonderful, wonderful. And I'm so happy to have them. But it's just like from one woman to another, one mother to another, one married woman to another, one divorced woman to another. When you start telling the truth on stage and you hear it from other people, it's a huge relief. You feel really seen.
Yeah, it's because women just love talking crap on stage. That's what we've realized what the internet has done to women. They love doing this before. Now they have a platform and a phone. They can do it to the world.
And that's your comedy. Your comedy is really, really good jokes, but you're telling the truth about life in real time. It's why people really respond to you.
I mean, I think so.
Okay, so this woman's a comedian. I've never seen her. I don't know her name. I don't know if she's famous. If she is, tell me. Anyone in the comments, is she good? I don't think I'm going to be watching her. I don't think I'm her target audience. I think that she's appealing to women who probably feel guilty about how good they have it, how comfortable their lives are, and they feel like a little bit bad about how privileged they are and how they're exploiting men. And so they like listening to her because she's going to feed them this victim narrative about how awful men are and how bad women have it, to just numb out whatever last remnants of conscience they might have left. And how disappointing is this Leslie Knope woman? Sorry, I don't know her real name. Women always do this. They give that disclaimer like, I
believe her name is Tina Fey.
love my kids and I do anything for them, but they're a huge drag and I don't like being a mother and it's so exhausting. Yep. I hate this. I hate this movement that's trying to normalize women hating motherhood. It's okay to regret having children. You shouldn't feel ashamed about that. You shouldn't have to stay quiet about how much you hate being a mother. Well, you know what? Fuck that. I think you should feel ashamed. I think you should keep those thoughts to yourself. Maybe think about how your children are going to feel.
Like, imagine if a man was just talking about, man, I regret my kids, I regret my wife, and he was just constantly on the internet talking about that. He'd be seen as a horrible father and a horrible fucking parent.
Hearing you talk about them like this, maybe think about them instead of yourself. Nobody forced you to become a mother, okay? Your children did not have a choice whether or not to be born. You did. You made a choice. So take some fucking accountability. Because if you really hate motherhood, if you really don't like your children, have you considered the possibility that that's your fault? Maybe you should have put more effort in, raise them to actually be likable, well-adjusted individuals that you enjoy spending time with. Maybe
instead of spoiled brats that you never said no to.
Then you would enjoy being a mother because, as it turns out, if you do it right, being a parent is actually very rewarding. But what you're saying here makes no logical sense at all. How does you, being a shit mother, mean that you are a victim?
I 100% agree with the whole narrative that women have the hardest job in the world, which is motherhood. Just like Bill Burr and everybody says, if you can do the job in your pajamas, yeah, might not be the hardest job in the world. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And catch you guys next time. Ciao.